Hi there, welcome to Neppy Invest. In this video, I'll be talking about a company called LBT Innovations. So 4 years in the making. So why have I mentioned 4 years in the making? So I was a shareholder in this company. I started buying in 2014. Then in October 2016, I actually did sell out because in October 2016, they got FDA approval for the piece of equipment that they have developed called APAS Independence. And I thought with the share price increasing substantially, it was a good time to just sell, take some profits. And since they gained FDA approval in 2016, share price has come back to actually the price I started buying in. Not only that, they are starting to sell the APAS Independence, and there is a bit of money in the equipment they are selling. And I think there is a chance LBT Innovations may have just reached an inflection point or just about to reach an inflection point. And that inflection point is just how they sell, the amount of APAS Independence machines they sell, and the more they sell, the better. But even though I think LBT Innovations have a lot of potential, realizing that potential is probably the hardest thing to do. But once they realize that potential, that's when they reach that inflection point, and that's the time to buy. So I'm waiting for that inflection point to time to buy. So what do LBT Innovations do, or what have they done? So they developed this automated culture plate reader called APAS Independence. So when I first bought into this company in 2014, they were developing it, then testing it, and finally they got the FDA approval in 2016. So all this does is it's an automated machine, and automation is going to become more and more common in our lives from here on in. It's already become common. And what this does is it's going to free up microbiologists to do less menial work. So traditionally, culture plate readers have been manually done. And I think we're going to see more and more the need for culture plate readers. So they do have a large addressable market here. And this is some of their targets. So in the United States, they have 15,000 or 1,500 target labs. That may not seem a lot, but the price of one of these machines is quite expensive. And they've already started to sell these machines. So they sold one in USA to Hennepin Health. They've sold one in Australia to St. Vincent's Hospital. So they are starting to gain traction. And that's the most important thing, to see how quick that traction takes, see how quick they start selling the machines. And the quicker it is, I think, the closer that inflection point is going to be gained. And then once that inflection point is gained, the share price should take off. That's my theory anyway, or thesis. So, so they do have a joint venture. That's probably the first thing to mention. And you can just read above there. 5-year revenue potential is $450,000 per instrument. So you can just see the addressable market, or the amount of labs they are targeting in the United States, was 1,500. If they gain just even a small percentage of those amount of labs they are targeting, that's still a fair bit of money. So you can see the market penetration there, 20%, and they're targeting over 2,000 labs throughout the world. But if they have market penetration of 20%, which is only, say, 400 labs, that's still upwards of $80 to $120 million in instruments and $12 million per annum in analysis modules. So a lot of money they have potential here to make. And the question is how much penetration they can get. So I think once they become profitable and we start to see the amount of labs buying into the instrument, and it all, I think, comes down to how useful these labs see the machine, or APAS Independence. So a lot of potential. I'm excited about this company, but I'm not going to be buying it until I get confirmation they've reached that inflection point I've been talking about. So the share price, 13 cents. So market cap's not that high, only about 37.5 million. The fact that they've got the $13.7 million in cash means the enterprise value is 27.8. And that's probably all I want to mention on this slide. They did do a capital raising in July 2020, so they have a fair bit of cash. I don't think they'll need any capital raisings moving forward unless they decide they want to do more research and develop into maybe a new machine. But I think they should wait until they start to become profitable and generating cash flow from APAS independence. That's my thinking anyway. So this is the FDA approval. So it was 10th of October 2016. So it's been 4 years since they gained FDA approval, and this was an announcement that really put a kick, it really put a booster rocket up the share price. Share price just went bananas with this announcement. So I was thinking that the market saw this announcement and didn't think it was going to take 4 years before we had the announcement, or between the announcement and the company actually gaining traction in sales. 4 years is a long time. So this is my history with LBT Innovations. So yeah, so I started buying. See, I bought in lots from 2014. And my first sale was October 2015, before the FDA approval, just because it rose to 19.5 cents. I was a little bit impatient. I was holding it long, and back then I was fairly impatient. And in fact, my impatience actually did pay off, because when they did get the FDA approval, I sold one tranche on the 10th of October on the announcement at 31 cents. And then 4 days later, I sold the rest of the remaining of my holdings at $1.05. And when you look at the chart, which is the next slide here, I sold at almost the high. That was just a fluke, and it was just based off. I wasn't that patient back then. I've really changed my patience. But anyway, back then, one of the reasons I sold at 20 cents, that initial sale on, was it October 2015, was it reached 20 cents, which was a resistance line. And it remained a resistance line until we got FDA approval, and then it shot up. You can just see this is a weekly chart. And so you can see in that week, it went from just above 20 cents all the way to $1. So a 5-bagger in a week. So that's just based off the FDA approval. And then the share price just dropped off after that, because there was just profit takers like me just selling out. And then since I sold, it's just been dropping in price. That 20 cents of resistance has become resistance again. So it's hit resistance 3 times and bounced away from it. So just history repeating itself. It's just amazing. And I have no doubt once they gain traction, 20% or 20 cents will be the price you want to buy at. So that's all I've got on LBT Innovations. This is a company I've got on my watch list, and I'll keep on my watch list to see how they gain traction in sales. And I do have my fingers crossed for this company. There's a bit of a soft place in my heart for this company, just because I think what they're doing is beneficial. It'll be good for those labs who do culture plate reading. And that's all I've got for LBT Innovations. If you are a holder of this company, leave it some comments in the comment section. I do follow Hot Copper now and again. Back when I was holding it, there was a lot of hope around this company. Since then, there's been a lot of negativity around the company, because I think a lot of people bought in when the share price was just considerably higher. And because they haven't gained traction in the last few years, I think there's been a lot of negativity around. That's another reason why 20 cents would be a resistance. You get these negative holders who just want to sell out when the share price rises. And that's what's been happening, I think, around 20 cents or so. So that's all I've got. If you do need a professional advisor, make sure you seek out someone who is recognized as a professional, who has their qualifications and all that jazz. So have a good day. Talk to you later. Bye.